So we are dealing with the question segment of kinematics. Let us deal with the first problem. So in this segment, we are dealing mainly with the motion in two dimensions, that is motion in a plane. So the first one, the radius vector of a point A relative to the origin varies with time t as the position vector is given to us as at I cap minus bt square j cap, where a and b are positive constants and I and j are unit vector of the x and y axis. Find the equation of point's trajectory and we have to plot this function. So if I begin with the first problem, so I can say that x is equal to at and y is equal to minus bt square. So from here I can write that t equals x by a, and if we put t equals x by a in this equation, we obtain minus b x square upon a square. So the equation of a trajectory which is independent of time is equal to minus bx square by a square. So if I plot this with respect to x and y axis, so we can consider it in this way, that if this is x axis and this is y axis, then it will be a parabola something like this, because the value is minus b by a x square. So the next question is asking the time dependence of the velocity v and acceleration w vectors as well as of the moduli of these quantities. So if we look at this aspect, so we are saying that the position vector of the particle r vector is equal to at I cap minus bt square j cap. So if we write velocity vector, then velocity vector can be written as dr by dt, and if we differentiate this equation with respect to time, we obtain ai cap minus 2bt j cap. And on redifferentiating this, we obtain the equation for acceleration, that is, it can be written as dv by dt, and if I differentiate this, then I will be left with minus 2b j cap. So the next part which the question is asking is to calculate their mod values, that is their magnitude. So the magnitude of velocity can be written as a square plus 4b square t square square root, and that of acceleration can be written as minus 2b, or we can simply write it as 2b because we are only writing the magnitude. So now let us deal with the third part. The third part is asking the time dependence of the angle between the velocity and acceleration vector. So if we calculate the angle between them, so we are using the concept of dot product. So I can write that cos alpha is equal to v dot acceleration upon magnitude v magnitude of acceleration. So if we perform dot product between these two vectors which we have obtained, so we can say that only j cap will get multiplied and we will obtain 4b square t upon magnitude of v, that is a square plus 4b square t square, and the magnitude of this, which is equal to 2b. So we obtain something equal to 2bt upon root over a square plus 4b square t square, and from here I can write that alpha is equal to cos inverse of this quantity, that is 2bt upon root over a square plus 4b square t square. So this is the angle alpha which we were talking about. The next question that is asked is the mean velocity vector averaged over the first t seconds of motion and the modulus of this vector. So the last part is asking us to calculate the average value of velocity. So the average value of velocity is written as integration of v dt upon integration dt. So if we write this quantity over here with respect to this velocity vector which we have obtained, so I write it as a I cap minus 2bt j cap dot dt, this is under integration, upon integration dt, and we are taking time from 0 to t. So the denominator will become equal to t from between 0 to t, and on solving we obtain it as a I cap minus b t j cap. Now the next portion is to calculate the magnitude of this average velocity. So the magnitude of this average velocity is a square plus b square t square the square root. So this is the answer to the last part which we obtained. So with this we have solved the first one. Let us go to the next problem. A point moves in the xy plane according to the law x equals at, y equals at 1 minus alpha t, where a and alpha are positive constant and t is time. Find the equation of point's trajectory and plot this function, the velocity v and acceleration of the point as function of time, and the moment t at which the velocity forms an angle of pi by 4 with the acceleration vector. So for this particular problem, we are given when the motion along x-axis is equal to x is equal to at, and that along y-axis is equal to at 1 minus alpha t. So from here I can write that t equals x upon a, and if I put this value over here, so we can write it as a x upon a. 1 minus alpha t can be written as x upon a. So we obtain the equation of trajectory, y is equal to x 1 minus alpha x by a, or we can write it as x minus alpha x square by a. So this is the equation of a parabola. The next we will be calculating about the velocity and acceleration vector. So if we wish to write the velocity and acceleration vector, then along x-axis we differentiate at with respect to time, and then obtain the velocity along I cap, and along y-axis we differentiate at 1 minus alpha t with respect to time, and obtain velocity along j cap. So from here we write that the velocity vector can be written as a I cap, and along j cap it is written as a1 minus 2 alpha t j cap. Now the next part which is asked is to calculate the value for acceleration. So acceleration can be written as the derivative of velocity with respect to x with respect to dt I cap. This is along x-axis, which will eventually get 0 because it is a constant this time. And along y-axis ay can be written as velocity along y-axis with respect to time t, and we will obtain the value along j cap. So from here we obtain that the acceleration along y-axis, we are using w for this symbol. So the acceleration along y-axis is equal to minus 2a alpha. So this is the net answer which we are looking for. This is the velocity vector, and the acceleration vector is only along j cap. There is no I cap term in the acceleration equation. The next the question is asking us to find the time at which the velocity is making an angle of pi by 4 with the acceleration vector. So the angle of pi by 4 with the acceleration vector, so we can again use this concept of dot product, that cos alpha, which is eventually written as cos pi by 4, we are solving for this particular time, v dot acceleration upon magnitude of v, magnitude of acceleration. So on performing the dot product and substituting the values, we obtain cos pi by 4 is equal to 1 by root 2, which is equal to, if we calculate v dot a, this can be written as 2a square alpha 1 minus 2 alpha t upon the magnitude of acceleration in this one. So we write it as a square plus a square 1 minus 2 alpha t square square root dot 4a square alpha square. So from here if we simplify this equation, we obtain t naught is equal to 1 by alpha for this particular problem. So let us move to the next question. A bullet is fired at an angle of 30 degree with the horizontal and hits the ground 3 kilometers away. By adjusting its angle of projection, can one hope to hit a target 5 km away? Assume the muzzle speed to the fixed and neglect air resistance. So for this particular problem, the first case is saying that r at an angle theta is written as u square sine 2 theta by g. So if we use the working formula for the range, so in the first case the range is given to us as 3 km, which I am writing it in meter. U square is not known. Sine of 2 theta, that is 60 degree, because this is 30, so 2 theta will become 60 upon g, we are writing it as g. Now the maximum range which we can obtain using this same setup is equal to u square by g, that is at 45 degree angle of projection. So eventually we are looking for the calculation of u square by g. So we can easily get this value by 3000 upon sine 60 degree. This is equal to 3000 upon root 3 by 2. And we are multiplying and dividing by root 3 back again. So we get 2000 root 3. This is in meter. So the maximum range can be written as 2 root 3 kilometer. So if we calculate this value, so we obtain something equal to 3.464 kilometer. Now this is lesser than 5 kilometers, so we can say that this is not possible. So we say this is not possible to attain. We are dealing with the next problem. The figure given below shows a 11.7 feet ditch with the approach road at an angle of 15 degree with the horizontal. Find with what minimum speed should a motorbike be moving on the road so that it safely crosses the ditch. Assume that the length of the bike is 5 feet and it leaves the road when the front part runs out of the approach road. So basically, if I consider a bike over here, something like this, then in order to make a successful landing over here, the rear wheel must land at this place. So if the rear wheel is landing at this place, so I can say that the total range must be greater than 11.7 feet, and we are adding the length of the bike to it to make the landing successful. So we are getting the range equivalent to 16.7 feet. Because if the front wheel will land here, then the back wheel will, or the rear wheel will go into the ditch. So in order to make the landing successful, it is necessary that the rear end must land on this side, and as the question is saying that it leaves the road when the front part runs out of the ground of the approach road, so we have to add the length of the bike to the range value. So now if we use the formula for range, that is r equals u square sine 2 theta by g. So from here I can say that range is equal to 16.7 feet, which is equal to u square sine 2 theta, that is sine 30 degree, that is half, and g can be written as 32 feet per second square. So from here we obtain that u is coming approximately 32 feet per second. So this is going to be the answer for this part, 32 feet per second. Let us deal with the next question. A person standing on the top of a cliff 171 feet high has to throw a packet to his friend standing on the ground 220 feet horizontally away. If he throws the packet directly aiming at the friend with a speed of 15 feet per second, how short will the packet fall? So the first thing that we do is we draw a diagrammatic representation of this particular problem. So I am marking one person over here who is standing on top of the cliff, which is 171 feet height, and the friend is standing at a distance of 228 feet distance somewhere over here on the ground. Now the particle is projected with a speed of 15 feet per second. 1 minute. Now the question is saying that the particle is aimed directly at his friend. So I am drawing a line joining him and his friend. So this is the aim angle which he is using. So he projected the particle with 15 feet per second directly aiming at his friend. So we are considering this angle as theta. So eventually we will get this as theta. How short will the packet fall? So now what will happen? The packet will follow a projectile path like this and will end up somewhere here, and it will fall short by a distance x. So this can be written as 228 minus x. So now if we use the concept of the two-dimensional motion, so I am considering this as x-axis and this one as y-axis. So if I write the motion along x-axis, so the first thing that we do is we try to measure this angle. So by writing tan theta, which is equal to 171 upon 228, we obtain theta as 37 degree. So once we have the value of theta equal to 37 degree, so I can write that the initial velocity along x-axis is equal to u cos theta, that is 15 cos 37 degree, and we get value equal to 12 feet per second. Similarly, we do the calculation for along y-axis. So I write that along y-axis the value is equal to minus u sine theta, and if I put the value that is minus 15 and sine 37 degree, so we obtain value equal to minus 9 feet per second. Now the acceleration along x-axis is 0, and along y-axis acceleration is equal to minus 32 feet per second square. The displacement along y-axis is equal to minus 171 feet, that is the total distance between the point of throwing and the ground, and displacement along x-axis can be written as 228 minus x. So we connect them by time, so we are taking t is equal to a variable. So the first equation that we frame is to calculate t. So if I solve along y-axis, then the equation will be displacement along y-axis is equal to ut minus half 32t square. So basically I have used the equation that displacement along y-axis is equal to initial velocity along yt plus half acceleration along yt square. So if we solve this equation, we obtain t equal to 3 seconds. Now if t is equal to 3 seconds and if we apply it for x-axis, then displacement along x is equal to initial velocity along xt. So we can write it as that 228 minus x is equal to 12 into 3, that is 36, and we obtain x is equal to 192 feet. So this is the distance by which the object will fall short from the friend. So let us deal with the next problem. A staircase contains 3 steps, each 10 cm high and 20 cm wide. With what should be the minimum horizontal velocity of a ball rolling off the uppermost plane so as to hit directly the lowest plane? So if I consider this particular diagram, I am redrawing the diagram for better understanding of the problem. So we are considering it in this way. So if I specify the distances, so they are 10 centimeter high. So this is 10 centimeter and this is again 10 centimeter and 20 centimeter wide. So this is 20 and this is 20 centimeter. So if the ball follows a trajectory like this, that if the ball is thrown from here somewhere like this, then it should follow a path like this to land somewhere here. So what is important is that the ball must escape this point. If the ball escapes this point, then it will be successful in reaching the lowest plane. So I am considering this problem in this way, that the ball is projected with a velocity u from a height of 20 centimeter, and it should fall at a distance of 40 centimeter. So if it crosses this point, then it will definitely hit the lowest plane. So this is how we are breaking this problem. Now this is very easy to solve. So I can say that to solve this particular problem, if I solve along y-axis, you can directly use the formula also. I am going with the concept portion, that we are solving along y-axis, then acceleration along y-axis is minus 10 meter per second square, and displacement along y-axis is minus 20 by 100 meter, and then we calculate t. So from here we get t equals 1 by 5 second, and if we solve along x-axis, so we can write it as initial velocity along x as u, t is equal to 1 by 5 second, and the displacement along x, which is equal to 40, is equal to u into 1 by 5, and it should be in meters, so we divide by 100. We obtain u equals 2 meter per second. So this is the answer for this particular problem. So let us deal with the next problem. A cyclist starts from the center O of a circular path of radius 1 kilometer, reaches the edge P of the park, then cycles along the circumference and returns along QO. If the round trip takes 10 minutes, then what is the net displacement? The net displacement is going to be 0, because the particle is coming back to its initial position. And since average velocity is equal to total displacement by total time, so that is also going to become 0. So if we calculate the value of average speed, then it is equal to total distance traveled by total time taken. So from O to P we cover a distance of 1 kilometer. Then along the circumference, the distance covered is equal to 2 pi r by 4 plus again 1 kilometer, and this entire setup takes place in 10 minute time, so we convert it in r. So this is the answer in kilometer per hour. If we do the necessary calculation, we obtain 21.4 kilometer per hour. Let us deal with the next problem. A particle is thrown with a velocity of 50 meter per second towards an inclined plane from the ground, such that it strikes the inclined plane perpendicularly. The angle of projection of the projectile is 53 degree with the horizontal, and the inclined plane is inclined at an angle of 45 degree to the horizontal. Find the time of flight. What is the distance between the point of projection and the foot of the inclined plane? So I am just redrawing the diagram for better solving purpose. So this is what we consider. So the particle is projected with a velocity of 50 meter per second, making an angle of 53 degree. So if I break the component, so then this component will become 50 cos 53 degree, that is 30 meter per second, and the component along y-axis becomes 50 sin 53 degree, that is 40 meter per second. Now at a certain distance there is an inclined plane making an angle of 45 degree. So if I draw the trajectory of this path, the trajectory is somewhat like this, and it is hitting perpendicularly. So if it is striking perpendicularly, so I am making it over here that the final velocity is like this, and if it is perpendicularly, then on breaking the component we obtain v cos 45 degree, that is v by root 2, and v by root 2 in the downward direction. And the next part, the question is asking us the distance of the foot of the inclined plane. So the question is asking us this distance. I am calling this as x0, and the point of impact, this distance I am treating it as the total distance x. and the height we are treating it as y. We'll come to it later on. So basically I am trying to say that this height is y and this distance from the point of projection is x. So if we start considering our problem, so the first concept which we are using is that the velocity along x-axis is equal to constant, and it is because acceleration along x-axis is 0. So if acceleration along x-axis is 0, we can clearly say that the velocity along x-axis is constant, and hence we write it as that the initial velocity along x-axis, which is equal to 30, is equal to final velocity along x-axis, which is equal to v root 2, and from here we obtain v is equal to 30 root 2 meter per second. Now the next thing which we are solving for is the motion along y-axis. So initial velocity along y-axis is equal to plus 40 meter per second. The acceleration along y-axis is minus 10 meter per second square, and the final velocity along y-axis is equal to v by root 2. So that is 30 meter per second in the downward direction, so we are using a negative sign. So if we solve this equation for time, we write it as v is equal to u minus 10t, and from here we obtain 10t equal to 70, that is t equal to 7 seconds. So this is the answer for the first problem, that is t equals 7 seconds. Now the next question is the distance between the point of projection and the foot of the inclined plane. Now to find this out, I am finding the height y. So we are again solving along y-axis, and we are obtaining displacement along y, that is y is equal to 40t, yani ki 40 into 7 minus half 10 t square, that is 49. So we obtain the value equal to 35 meter. So if we look in this triangle, so it is the triangle is making an angle of 45 degrees. So if this is equal to 35 unit, so the distance from the base is also going to be 35, because this is 45 degree angle. So isosceles triangle it is. So now I can clearly say that the displacement along x-axis, which we consider it as total x, is equal to x naught plus 35, where this is x naught and this is total x, where we are adding 35 to this, and this is equal to along x-axis the velocity is 30 into 7, that is 210 meter, and from here we obtain that x naught is equal to 175 meter. So this is the answer for the second problem which is asked. Let us move to the next problem. Two inclined planes OA and OB having inclination with the horizontal 30 degrees and 60 degrees respectively intersect each other at O as shown in the figure. A particle is projected from point P with a velocity of 10 root 3 meter per second along a direction perpendicular to the plane OA. If the particle strikes the plane OB perpendicularly at Q, then calculate the time of flight, the velocity at which the particle strikes the plane OB. So for this particular problem, we first of all draw the trajectory. So let me draw a bigger diagram so that we can mark various things in our diagram. So there are two inclined planes like this. One is 60 degree and the another is 30 degree, and the particle is projected with a velocity u somewhat like this at 10 root 3 meter per second. So it will follow a path and will strike over here. So when it is striking here, so we are considering that the velocity is equal to v. So we are considering velocity when it is striking here as v. The path of the trajectory can be marked like this. So now if we start breaking the component, so on breaking the component we break it along these two directions. So if this is 60 degree, so I can mark it in this way. So this becomes v cos 30 degree and this becomes v sin 30 degree. And over here also, if we break the component in this direction, that is along x-axis, so this is 60 degree and we write it as 10 root 3 cos 60 degree. So if we are writing the first equation, and the vertical component can be written as 10 root 3 sin 60 degree. So the first concept which we are applying to get this is that the velocity along x-axis is equal to constant because the acceleration along x-axis is 0. So if we use this, we can write it as that 10 root 3 cos 60 degree 10 root 3 cos 60 degree, that is equal to half, is equal to v cos 30 degree. Cos 30 degree is equal to root 3 by 2. So from here we obtain that v equals 10 meter per second. Now we are solving for the time of flight. So initial velocity along y-axis is equal to 10 root 3 sin 60 degree. So if we write this as 10 root 3 and sin 60 degree as root 3 by 2, then it is plus 15 meter per second. And velocity along y-axis finally, which is equal to v sin 30 in the downward direction. So we write it as minus 10 into half, that is equal to minus 5 meter per second. And acceleration along y-axis as minus 10 meter per second square. So if we solve this equation, so we write it as v is equal to u minus 10t. So from here we obtain t equal to 2 seconds. So for this problem, A and B part both are solved. The time of flight is equal to 2 seconds and the velocity with which it is striking the plane OBV is equal to 10 meter per second. Let us move to the next problem. Point A moves uniformly with velocity v, so that the vector v is continuously aimed at point B, which in turn moves rectilinearly and uniformly with a speed u, which is less than v. At the initial moment of time, v is perpendicular to u and the points are separated by a distance l. How soon will the points converge? So this is distance l. How soon will the points converge? So if we consider this particular problem, so let me first of all make you understand the problem by doing a diagrammatical approach. So this is a point B which the question is talking about, and certain distance from here, let us take point A, which is somewhere here, and the separation between them is L. Now B is moving in the rectilinear path, that is in this direction, perpendicular to the initial direction of A. So now if I mention the velocities, so the velocity of B is u and that of A is v. Now it is said that the direction of A is always pointed in the direction of B. So as the B is going to change the position, the velocity of A is also going to change, and we will see that the trajectory which it follows is something like this. So at every point we can understand it by one more diagram over here. Suppose initially B is here and A is here. After an instant B will reach here and A will reach here, so the direction of velocity will be along this line. Again after an instant the direction will be along this line, and again after an instant the direction will be along this line, and if we jot down these trajectories it is going to come something like this. So every time A is changing its direction so as to meet B. So if we consider this, then this is the trajectory which we are talking about. Now at an instant of time, at a certain instant of time, suppose somewhere here I am saying that this velocity of A is still the same, that is V, in the direction pointing towards B, which is moving with a speed u. So I am considering it in this way, that this angle is theta. So if we break the components of u in the direction of A, we write it as V u cos theta. So the first equation which we are writing, for this is the rate of decrement of the distance between them, that is can be written as minus dr by dt is equal to minus v plus u cos theta. So kindly try to understand this equation. So this is v and this is u cos theta. So whenever I talk about two objects, you forget this problem, you think about this. So if I am talking about a ball A or P, and this is a ball Q, so if I consider them moving in a straight line path, and if suppose Q is moving with 5 meter per second and P is moving with 7 meter per second, so the decrement of distance between them is going to be of the order of 2 meter per second. That is, we are taking the relative velocities. Similarly, in the line joining them, I am breaking the component of A and B in the line joining them, which is responsible for the decrement of distance between them. And on breaking this component, we write it as minus v plus u cos theta. We are using a negative sign since the distance is gradually getting reduced. So if I convert this equation in this format, so I can write it as dr is equal to minus v plus u cos theta dt. So initially at t equal to 0, the separation is L, and after time t the separation is going to become 0. So from this equation we obtain this expression on solving, that L is equal to minus Vt plus integration of u cos theta dt from 0 to t, and this is the first equation which we have. Now the problem is we cannot solve for u cos theta dt, so we need to frame one more equation. So we are framing equation along x-axis. So we are framing equation along x-axis. So if we frame equation along x-axis, so then along x-axis we can break this component in v cos theta. So along x-axis I can write that dx upon dt is equal to minus v cos theta plus u, and then from here I can write that dx is equal to minus v cos theta dt plus u dt with an integration sign. So along x-axis initially also the x component is same for both a and b, and finally also it is going to be same, and the time is from 0 to t. From here we can obtain the value of integration of cos theta dt, which is which we can write is from here as 0 equals minus v integration of cos theta dt from 0 to t plus ut. So integration of cos theta dt is equal to I'm adjusting it somewhere here. So I can say that integration of cos theta dt from 0 to t can be written as vt by u. can be written as ut by v, and if we put this in the first equation, we obtain the equation of time period t when they will meet, vl upon v square minus u square. So this is the answer for this particular problem. With this we have come to an end for the question segment of kinematics.